Previously on Meerkat Manor. Having survived a violent attempted coup, Whiskers leader Swift gave birth to new members of the family in a rather unusual location. Pregnant Flint and Hakuna Matata risked life and limb for a bite to eat at a hazardous roadside diner, while Daisy and her Ubuntu clan fought off a rival tribe, the Zulus, to lay claim to their burrow. With overnight temperatures dropping below freezing and food supplies dwindling, the long winter months in the Kalahari are a time when the support of a family is most precious. But sometimes that family can also put you in the greatest danger. It's a bitterly cold morning on the manor. Daisy and the Ubuntu clan are keeping warm in their stolen Zulu territory in their typically raucous style. But Daisy's niece, Wren, and daughter, the Native, are less blasé. Alert to the possible return of the Zulus, they're a little twitchy. It's almost as if they can sense they're being watched. They have good reason to be nervous. Eventually, Wren clocks what's going on. There's a lone stranger in their midst. Normally, she'd raise the alarm. But today, she's suspiciously quiet. Because their visitor is an attractive roving male. It's Flint's younger brother, Shandy. Better known as Randy Shandy. This smooth operator from Hakuna Matata struck out on a lone roving mission months ago. From the looks of it, Shandy's learned a thing or two about how to sidle up to check out all the single ladies. And he's got plenty of Ubuntu beauties to choose from. Daisy and the boys are so far oblivious to Shandy's presence, which is handy for Shandy, because if they get a whiff of a rival male, there'll be hell to pay. But Wren has no intention of alerting her family to the rover. She just moves nonchalantly from her post. This tantalizing opportunity could be her one shot at a long-term partner and leadership of a family of her own. As long as one of her sisters doesn't get in there first. At the cattle pen, the Whiskers are starting their day in a leisurely fashion. No one's in any hurry to leave the warmth of their cozy burrow. Lilac is the first to venture out and discovers the ensuite water trough is frozen. All this hanging around is eating into valuable foraging time. And at this time of year, they need all the hunting hours they can get to replenish their energy reserves. Three Whiskers who won't be joining the hunt for food today are new arrivals, Ragnar, Rollo and Floki. At just 4 weeks old, the brothers are too young to go out foraging. But they are now old enough to spend their days above ground, discovering all the curious sights and smells. They're used to being cared for by a rotation of experienced babysitters during the day. But this morning, Swift's leaving her kids with Laker and Fly. Not so long ago, the two sisters were pups themselves, venturing into the big wide world for the very first time. Now it's their turn to supervise. No wonder they're worried. 3 excitable brothers, 2 novice babysitters, surrounded by a herd of cattle. What could possibly go wrong? Foolhardy as it may seem, in family life, everyone must play their part. Growing up means taking responsibility. Laker and Fly will have to learn fast. In neighboring Hakuna Matata territory, the morning frost may have melted, but the atmosphere is positively icy. Flint Lockwood is on the warpath. Heavily pregnant and just a few weeks off her due date, Flint's hormones are raging and she's ready to take it out on someone. And that someone could face eviction from the family. In the firing line are her younger sisters and potential rivals. Munchkin, Centa, and Kajess. All 3 will be starting to attract the attention of roving males, and pregnant subordinates pose a very real threat to Flint. They could and would murder her pups to secure a better future for their own. Flint can't trust her sisters aren't already pregnant, so she's on the offensive. A warning nudge or two is only the beginning. The girls need a strategy to stay on the right side of Flint for as long as possible. Centa chooses to keep her distance, while Kajess takes a proactive approach with a rather over-the-top personal grooming session. Munchkin joins in too. The sycophantic tactic seems to be working. Flint's steely eye locks onto Centa. Maybe she should have sucked up after all. Flint's temper finally bubbles over. She pushes Centa to the outskirts of the family. For now, this is just a warning. But Centa is on notice. If she dares to come any closer, Flint may force her out for good. It's almost midday, and things are hotting up in the Whiskers territory. Novice babysitters Laker and Fly are finding their new responsibility nerve-wracking, to say the least. They also haven't had a thing to eat or drink since yesterday, and it's scorching out here. The ice has thawed, and that cold water looks very tempting. The sensible thing would be to take it in turns to quench their thirst. But teenagers don't always make the best choices. The thirsty sisters have left their brothers in a perilous situation. On Ubuntu's patch, Randy Shandy is edging ever closer to Daisy's family and is now within striking distance of her niece, Wren. But things are about to get interesting. The lurking Lothario has caught the attention of a second Ubuntu girl. Daisy's daughter, the native, is also looking for Mr. Right. In the light of such an opportunity, Shandy sets about showing off his classic roving moves. Pretend to be innocently foraging, while all the time inching ever closer to the girls. But he may have just overplayed his hand. Scar has spotted him. The Ubuntu boys aren't going to stand for this. Shandy gives them the slip. This is all very disappointing for Wren and for the native, who have just watched their golden opportunity disappear in a cloud of dust. But if Shandy is the accomplished charmer he seems to be, he'll be back. Whisker's pups, Ragnar, Rollo and Floki, are still patiently awaiting the return of their guardians. Fortunately for Laker and Fly, their young brothers have so far avoided being eaten or squashed. Thirsts quenched, the babysitters suddenly remember what they're supposed to be doing. Fortunately, their little misdemeanor has caused no harm, and refreshed, they resume their responsibilities with renewed enthusiasm. Ubuntu girls Wren and the native have remained on lookout for Shandy all day. And like any rover worth his salt, he never gives up. But this time, he's sneaking round the back of the group and finds himself in the presence of a quite delightful third Ubuntu girl, foraging all by herself. She's the native's sister, Ricky. The attraction appears to be mutual. As luck would have it, the rest of the family are temporarily distracted. But Ricky and Shandy only have eyes for each other. It's Ricky who makes the first serious move, stealing a march on her female rivals. Such a flagrant display of grooming right under her mother's nose is a big risk. But Ricky can't help herself. She's falling, head over heels. Though if these two want to get to know each other without being caught, they should really find somewhere more private. Get a room. The mood is far from amorous at Hakuna Matata's burrow. Lurking on the periphery, an anxious Centa watches her family prepare to settle in for the evening. She's facing her first night away from their warmth and protection. Unless she can somehow maneuver a reconciliation. She will have to choose her moment carefully. Finnick has spotted her, but the outcome will be Flint's decision. Centa summons all her courage and strikes out confidently towards her family. But will her sister take her back? Not a chance. The family falls in dutifully behind their leader. This is no longer a warning to keep her distance, but a full-scale eviction. Flint's ruthless determination to safeguard her unborn pups leaves her beleaguered sister out in the cold. After almost 10 anxious hours on babysitting duty, welcome relief is in sight for Whisker's sisters Laker and Fly. The novices have made it to the end of their shift without major incident. With any luck, they won't be picked to do it again anytime soon. It's been an exhausting day for Swift, too. But even after a hard day out in the bush, Mum still has to summon the energy to feed the kids. The hungry pups aren't the only ones seeking comfort from their mother. Laker's babysitting baptism of fire has left her in need of a reassuring snuggle. Which is fine by Swift, as long as she can do it all lying down. Every day brings its own challenges, but being able to unwind with family can ease the stresses of life. Outside the warm embrace of your nearest and dearest, it's a very different story. Having had his roving fun, Shandy makes his exit, leaving the two Ubuntu sisters and their cousin wondering what might have been. Centa faces her first night alone in the freezing desert. She's about to learn the hard way what it means to be without family.